Are you afraid to get a credit card or a new credit card? That's what I want to talk about today, so stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to management, and I've owned 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. Be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not had the chance to. Much gratitude to every single person that has liked one of these videos and subscribed to this YouTube channel. Share with your friends and family, and be sure to turn on that bell notification. Now, don't forget about the free stuff down below, the free pay to delete, the free goodwill letter, the free cease and desist letter. Also, free 30-minute consultations as well. We look at your credit, get an idea of where you're at, and help you get to where you want to be. Remember, you deserve to be approved for the credit you apply for and need. Allow clear and strategic credit repair services to help you out with that. Now, let's get into you being afraid to get a brand new credit card or get a credit card in general, your first credit card. Now, this is something that I've been hearing for a very long time, since I was a kid actually, when it came to credit cards and my introduction to credit cards. I've actually had a client I remember who had a credit card with a $25,000 limit. Didn't have a plan, didn't really understand what to do with regards to that credit card. And like many people, he charged certain amounts of money on that credit card to eventually maxing out the credit card and paying just the minimum payment. That minimum payment is higher than a car payment. Eventually, he defaulted and the account was sent to collections, and he was almost sued on the account. Now, my introduction to credit cards was not a good one. For the most part, almost every single adult that I heard talk about credit cards would always talk about them in a bad light, or I would hear sayings from people, adults and so forth, that I knew who grew up in my area that would say sayings like cash is king and to stay away from credit. You never want to finance nothing. You want to own you want to own the actual car. You want to have the pink slip. Cash is king. Others that I knew would say that it was free money. And in other words, and not on a knowledgeable way, but in other words, basically they would just charge the credit card up and not pay it, which in return would just ruin their credit. Now, myself, when I was younger, when I was introduced to credit cards, for the most part, because it's sort of kind of taboo to talk to your parents about it. Now, I was raised by my grandmother, which was even more taboo. You wouldn't, I had no idea how much money my grandmother made, how many properties she owned, and so forth. Come to find out, my great-grandmother, she owned a lot of commercial property. She owned residential property. She actually owned even apartment complexes, multifamily apartment complexes. But as a kid, you just didn't ask your parents those type of questions, so you never knew. So when it came to a credit card, all I could do is assume. I could speculate from what I heard, which was always negative, and for the most part, and sort of kind of find out where I lay. At that time, Google was around, but it wasn't like how it is now, where you can just ask any question on your cell phone and figure out an answer. So I had to go off of speculation. And, to ask someone, hey, what is credit? Or to seem like you didn't understand something made you seem like you weren't smart. And so then it was embarrassing. So a lot of times we just learned the hard way by not speaking and not learning. So when I got a credit card, I figured it was to buy stuff that I necessarily couldn't afford, and then pay the minimum payments until you pay the card off, right? And that was the thought process that I had until I understood that when you're just making those minimum payments, you'll be paying forever. Another thing I remember growing up, my first introduction with credit cards, is I would see a lot of my friends who were in college kids. And about time college time came around, my thought process was credit cards were bad, so I would stay away from them. But I would see kids who were in college struggling with no job and with student loans get approved for credit cards. And how they would lure us in is they would say, hey, here's a free t-shirt, or here's a free mug, or a free cup, or something like that, and apply for the credit. So the reality is, at the time when you're applying for the credit at that time span, you're not really thinking you're going to get approved for this credit card. Most people in their natural sane mind is like, why would I get approved for a credit card? I don't have a job, I don't have anything, but I can use this brand new shirt, I can use this duffel bag, or whatever they were given, whatever gift they were given, a toaster, or whatever the circumstance is, for their dorm room, to only get approved for the credit card, and then obviously charge it up because they're broke and they don't have any money, and then in return end up owing that money back. Not only that, I remember in my debt collections era, I always heard a familiar story. I remember almost all the time, but I remember getting a consumer on the phone, and one of the things they would say is, I don't even know why I got approved for this credit card. I was in college, I didn't know anything about credit, and they're gonna give me a $1,000 credit limit or a $2,000 credit limit. I don't have a job, what am I gonna do? And most of them, they bought a bunch of crap they didn't need, or spend it on stuff that they couldn't really afford to buy, or didn't have the money itself, and found themselves in trouble where obviously their credit was ruined. And in fact, some of them, I remember, were even sued. I say all that to say this. The reality is, when it comes to credit cards, if you have a plan and you understand credit, there's no need to be scared. You will never be scared with regards to applying for a credit card, getting approved for a credit card, and what you actually do with that credit card. Two things have to happen before you apply for a credit card with understanding. Obviously, you have to restore your credit. You have to fix your credit. Get rid of inaccuracies and derogatory accounts on your credit profile. Make sure your credit profile only has one name, one address, and one place of employment, and one phone number. Make sure your credit report has no more than 2 inquiries over 2 years. That's the first part of it, actually restoring your credit. The second part is actually building your credit, right? I've had clients where they had no positive accounts on their credit profile for the most part. Everything was negative. I end up getting a lot of that stuff deleted to only see their FICO score even drop lower. And a lot of the reason why that happens is the simple fact that they have no credit established that they're actually building, right? Installment loans is one way to start building credit. Obviously, the main one is a mortgage, but a lot of the other installment loans, they last anywhere from, 3 years to about 7 years. But the best way to start building credit a lot of times is with revolving credit, right? Revolving credit lasts forever. As long as you keep that card in a good standings and you're making the payment, you can have a credit card for over 50 years. So the reality is this: if you have a plan, if your credit is cleaned up, you understand credit, and you have a plan with every credit card, in fact, that you're going to sign up for, you make sure you're making those monthly payments on those credit cards. I say pay to zero utilization. If not, at least 10% or down below. And you know what type of card you're going to sign up for, a rewards card, a zero APR card, or whatever the circumstance is. And then you have ideas with regards to what you're going to use the credit cards for. Then getting a credit card is not scary at all. Getting a brand new credit card can be very scary for you if you do not understand anything about credit in general, right? It can make you want to stay away, especially those of you who were taught to stay away from credit. The reality is, credit is a game. The better you play it, the better it will help you with regards to everything. Down below, sign up. 30-minute consultation. The new year is coming. I say to every single client, you have to look at this as an investment in yourself. When's the last time you invested something in yourself that was going to give you a return on your investment? I'm not talking about buying a brand new car or buying some brand new shoes or some clothes. I'm talking about something that can actually change your life. Free 30-minute consultation down below. I will mention as well, because I did get emails, those of you who want to just sign up for the credit repair services, go to my website, clearandstrategic.com, click the enroll now button, and it'll prompt you and tell you what to do as far as signing up currently right now. If you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as always, you be great.